All right, it's 5:30. We're ready to conduct our meeting. Madam Secretary, would you call the roll, please?
Janice Brothers here, Wayne Hart, Whitley,
Here.
Kenan Threet, Greg Vick.
Here.
All right, you have your April 16th, 2006 minutes. What's your pleasure?
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Vick, second by Commissioner Brothers. All in favor? Yes. I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Threet. Second by Mr. Hart. All in favor? Okay. Public comment period. If you signed up, you can do it now, but if you choose to, we can we'll do it as we come to that item, if that's agreeable with everyone. Okay, all right. Old business. Deferred from the April 16th meeting, the special exception request from Steve Leopard. This is the property address is 1436 Highway 64 East, tax map 101, parcel 013.01, 3.69 acres, zoned A1. This request for special exception pursuant to Article 4, Section 4.041, C17 to establish a licensed professional office to be used for lawful firearm transfers. And if staff correct me, all the things that we discussed before are on the record as far as the letter from Ms. Randy and Mrs. Head. That's on the record.
Correct.
And all the business plans for the individual, that's on the record. So
Correct.
okay, I want to make sure that's, as far as if the record's reviewed, that's all of those items are on the record. We're just bringing this item back up. And all right, I'll turn it over to staff as you make your presentation.
So basically, we were kind of where we left off. Mr. Stephen, who resides on the property, proposes to partner with Mr. Snook in operating a business for a FFL license. Mr. Leopard is on the property, has submitted a signed statement authorizing the applicants to pursue the proposed use. The business requires licensure by the United States Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, which in turn requires evidence of local zoning approval. The subject parcel contains 3.69 acres and appears favorably situated for proposed use. The site is located off of Highway 64 West with adequate visibility and favorable ingress and egress. Off-street parking and dimensional characteristics appear sufficient to accommodate the request. The parcel also benefits from a substantial vegetative buffer along the east and north property lines, while the adjoining parcel to the west consists of approximately 8 acres in agricultural use. Based upon staff review, the applicable criteria for approval are or can be satisfied, including signage compliance.
Mr. Leopard here.
Mr. Chairman, there were
Mr.
some
Vick.
suggestions you made at the last meeting that I think are incorporated into the approval process that Director White and you have on your staff recommendations. That's correct?
Yes, sir.
And so I think the chairman made some suggestions about some of the parking and about some of the other matters, and they're included in the record. So if we move forward, they will be based on what Chairman said last week, on predicated upon the granting of this. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct. The April meeting.
And does the neighbor have any questions or concerns right now? I know you were here last month about this issue, and would you please speak to the mic so we can hear you?
You know, we don't want any commercial development in that area because, as was brought out in the meeting last time, if this was to happen, and I realize it was mentioned the possibility of doing it for a year or 2 or 3 or whatever it was, you know, when you start down that path, that's just hard. That doesn't change. That's what more or less y'all told us. And if you're going to have zoning and planning, I just believe you ought to stay with it. And, you know, the only issue we have that it is agricultural, and it ought to stay that way.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. My name is Randy Head. I live at 1425 Highway 64 West, Shelbyville, 37160.
Thank you,
All
Mr. Head. Now, I think, Randy, I think you were on the initial planning commission when we started all the planning in Bedford County. Reserved for several years. Anyone else wish to, please?
I live across the road from Randy. I live at 1432 Highway 64 West, and I joined this property on two sides. And some, oh, I'm sorry, Dwayne Sullivan, 1432 Highway 64 West. I joined this property on two sides, and from where they're wanting to do this, it's 685 feet to my front door. And that's way too close, in my opinion. We don't need this in my front door and Randy's front door, and I'm totally against it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we have to get you identified even though we know who you are. Anyone else, any other neighbors, have we had any emails, letters, any other on the subject?
No, sir, we've had no contact at the office for or against.
Everybody here had a chance to speak? Any other questions from the board? What's y'all's pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I don't really like this, but I see where we are with it. So I'm gonna move to approve it only because we have a 3-year, 3-month limit on this. Just like your suggestion was, I don't like it, but I feel like that we're gonna make a decision on it, and we'll decide tonight if we want to approve this exemption or not.
Okay, and, okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Vick to approve it under the outlines, the restrictions that we placed before, 3 years, and basically we're dovetailing this with the ATF permit. And it's only for that period of time, and also it goes with those same restrictions that we talked with before about business and parking, other items, ingress and egress. Do I have a second? Please,
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
We had several things that Mr. Head's lawyer had sent us that asked for, that they be included in it, which I thought they were reasonable requests.
They are part of the, that
Are
makes
they-
part of the motion
Will
because.
they be part of this motion, is my
Yes,
question?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, I think that was given, and I want to make sure when we started that we had that as part of the record, that those items that were put in play before is part of this record as well. And I think that your motion includes those restrictions.
Yes.
And I think that was, we worked out the business plan dovetailed many of those
And
restrictions.
that's the only reason I'm making that, is because
Okay,
I think we
all right.
dovetailed all the changes.
Do I have?
I have a couple other things I would like to bring up.
Go ahead.
The requirements for special exceptions says, will not in any manner adversely affect other property in the area it's located in.
Okay.
Is so designed, located, situated, and proposed to be operated that the public health, safety, welfare of nearby and surrounding uses will be reasonably protected. Conforms to all the applicable provisions of this resolution for the zoning direction in which it is to be located and is necessary for public convenience in that location and where applicable meets the specific standards below. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think it meets them.
All right, I have a motion on the floor to approve. I have no second. If I have no second, then I would entertain a motion to deny.
I'm going to make that motion based on what I just read, because I don't think it
Okay,
meets those.
that's about, I have a motion that I think based on the outline Mr. Threet just spoke from his own thing. Do I have a second?
Have a second.
I have a second from Mr. Hart. Y'all ready to vote? Now, Madam Secretary, I'll ask you to do a roll call on this, please. All right. Any other further discussion? All in favor, ready to vote? A vote aye is to deny. A vote nay is to not deny. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay. Madam Secretary.
Janice, aye. Wayne Hart, Whitley.
Aye.
Kenneth Reed. Greg Vick.
Aye.
Passed unanimously, motion died. Next item on the agenda. James Eady, 463 Potts Road, tax map 056, parcel 021.09, 15 acres. Request special exception for a accessory dwelling in a guest house is regulated by Article 2, Section 2.070. Staff.
Yes, Mr. Edie wants to build an accessory structure on his home. He's met all the criteria, including his septic, and we are no objections to the guest house.
Anyone here, any neighbors? Have any comments, public comments, letters, emails?
No comments or calls on this item.
Meets all the criteria. What's the pleasure of the board?
May I ask one question? You understand this isn't for rental property. This is your own personal guest house.
Yes, sir. Rob Eady, 463 Potts Road. Yes, sir. Actually, it's not for a guest house. It's for our residents. What we have on the property currently is a 400,000 square foot shop that we have an apartment in that we're living in currently. We plan to build a 3,600 square foot home in front of the shop. So yes, to answer your question, yes, it would be for a
It's an
guest room
auxiliary
only.
dwelling. That's accessory dwelling.
That's
No,
correct.
should
It
have
is.
said- I
It will
stand
not
corrected.
be for rent.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion by Vic, second by Commissioner Brothers. All in favor?
Aye.
Pass unanimously.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I saw you on TV in the ice storm. You look good. Now, I know it gets exciting if you're going, if we're done with yours, you're free to go, but you're welcome to stay. I mean, you paid your price of admission, but good to see you, Dwayne. Janelle Williams and applicant Antonia Esmond, Laws Hill Road, tax map 065, parcel 005.02, 9.81 acres, zoned A1. The request is a type 2 home occupation business. Staff.
If you've had a chance to read over this, you see it's very unique. It is a 9-something acre piece of land on the edge of the county that has currently no perk site. And Mr. Esmond is looking for a spot. He builds tennis courts and this thing called pickleball that apparently has gotten huge.
Be careful. Old people like pickleball. Now, be careful.
And so it's centrally located for him, and so it would be used for them to drop off equipment, come in the morning, pick up their items, load up, leave, drop it in the evening, and go. The location would be behind a row of trees, and it would be hid. But one of the more exciting things, I don't know if you guys know, a couple months ago, the state passed a law that says TDEC has to allow newer septics. I have one on my desk. It's mind-boggling, but we have options now. And so he's interested in putting a home on there. He would like a home on there also, whether it's rented out to his employee for security until his child's finished school, and then he would like to come back and put a main home on it. But it does not have a home first, and we're asking for a home, type 2 home occupation business. So it's an awkward ask, but my thought in the process as we put this together, it's taxed the least amount a piece of land could be taxed because they know it doesn't have a perk site. And so the thought was they could, 1 acre of it would be taxed commercially, and so it would just quadruple what little tax it does for the county. So
With the septic tank you're talking about, would he have to come back and reapply?
to do a home, he would have to look at one of these new septics like we had in, and it costs three times or so of the amount, but it's getting ready to boom. It's going to start being used more often.
This would be zone commercial, would it not?
It would be a home, had a home on there, it would be a pretty easy home occupation business, we feel like.
But it doesn't have a home on there now.
It does not.
So he wants to be zoned, wants us to give him a variance here or an exception to put a commercial business in with a home exemption while there is no home.
That's correct.
Staff review says what?
Well, it's all over the place. He points out that it does, if it did have a home, it would meet those items. But the subject parcel is currently unimproved. The owner has no immediate plans to reside on the property or build a house, but that has changed since he wrote it. They simply want to place as an accessory structure on the property to serve a commercial purpose. The intent of the A1 zone classification in our adopted zoning resolution in multiple locations and in prominent language is that ag and residential uses will be principal uses.
But the last sentence on page 15 says the staff respectfully encourages the denial for this application. Is that the staff's opinion?
That's correct.
Mr. Esmond here? I think staff's concerned, and I see your dilemma. You've got a piece of property. Staff's concerned, you're wanting us to approve a home occupation, but you don't have plans to build a home unless you're gonna go with one. You could build a home with the new, is it a step system? Is that the correct term?
It's a type of step system
Okay.
for individual lots.
Okay. Well, we've approved building like this before with, as long as the applicant has intention to build a home. Is your intention now to build a home on this site?
At some point, yes, sir.
Be a little more specific at some point.
Well, I have, my daughter's going to school right now, where she's going to school at, so my wife and I would not build right away, because we put, trying to get her through school and stuff like that would be a little more
How old's
cost.
your daughter?
Yeah, costly than what we want to do and trying to do this
Yeah.
property also, whatever, so I'm
Yes,
just
I
trying to
understand.
have somewhere to,
How old's your daughter? I mean, give us
she's 13.
13, so
Yes.
you're 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm looking for a reasonable timeline.
Yes,
To approve it, so somewhere down the road, that's what I tell my banker when I say, we're gonna get this paid off.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
And she's pretty expensive right now.
We do have a letter that was written, and we also have Pleasant here, and she's the real estate agent. Would you like me to read it? Okay. All right. We are the owners, to whom it may concern, we're the owners of the property located across the street from the reference 9-acre tract located on Laws Hill Road in Shelbyville, Tennessee. Over the years, we have built multiple new construction homes in the area, and we are currently preparing to begin another new construction home directly across the street. After considering the proposed sale intended use of the property by the concrete company, we do not believe that this will decrease the value of our property in any way. In fact, we believe it will improve and enhance the surrounding areas. The property currently contains an old barn that has become an eyesore. We understand the new owners plan to clean up the property, remove the existing structure, and to use the land primarily for storing equipment. We believe these improvements will have a positive impact on the appearance and overall value of nearby properties, including our own. We fully support these gentlemen in their efforts to purchase and improve the property, and we respectfully hope you will take our perspectives into consideration. Thank you for your time and consideration. Brian Kilgore, Frank England.
Okay, and those are neighbors across the street? Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. Further questions? Do you have a site plan?
On the map included, if you look at that map, you'll see a row of trees. And so that barn is at the end of that row of trees. He's gonna put it back behind those rows of trees as it gets into that heavy area, so it wouldn't even be seen from the road.
are we talking a small amount of equipment or a great big amount? Are we gonna store building products and, or are we gonna store, leftovers from other jobs? I mean, there's
So
many
it's-
different things, ways that could go.
Storing dry goods like lumber and bag concrete, stuff like that. So we have 2 excavators, mini excavators that we keep on the yard at all times, and we have 3 dump trailers and a 20-foot gooseneck and 2 other smaller trailers for equipment, and it'll be 4 trucks that will be on site at all times in the evening times, whatever, when the guys drop them back off.
What size building?
30 by 60 or something like that.
Further questions? Any comments from the audience? We have any neighbors? Okay. Pleasure of the board.
Chairman, I move to deny.
Have a motion by Commissioner Vick to deny the application.
Second.
Have a second by Mr. Hart. Any further discussion? All ready to vote? All, motion, aye is to deny, nay is not to deny. I'll ask for another roll call. I'm gonna work you out. Please. An aye vote is to deny the application.
Janice Brothers, aye. Wayne Hart. Whitley.
Aye.
Kennon Three. Greg Vitt.
Aye.
Passed unanimously. Sorry, Ms. Ogden. Mr. Saylor. Property address 542 Kellertown Road, parcel, tax back parcel 056013.01, 100.106 acres. Zone A1, request for special exception for a guest house. Staff.
Yes, sir. Mr. Taylor has brought his information to us. He has adequate septic. He understands the restrictions that it can't be rented out. Has to use the same driveway located behind the house. He's met everything. We have no objections to a guest house with the conditions that adhere to the published rules.
Any comments from the public? You moving Lynn Edie went in with you? No, sir, moving the damn thing. We have disagreement. Rob says you are. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
A motion by Mr. Brothers,
Second.
second by Mr. Three. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Pass unanimously. Good luck. James Jim Kate Coleman, Mr. and Ms. Coleman, 791 Liberty Pike, 132 acres, zone A1. Request a variance for a 20-foot egress variance for a family cemetery. Staff.
We're bringing everything off the wall to you tonight.
We earning our money.
All right. So the Colemans have 132 beautiful acres that they own a 30-foot strip to get to their property. It was a property that existed before the rules. It's limited to them. They wanted to add another house to their property, but none of the neighbors were willing to sell an extra 20 feet. And so they added on to their home. Probably still a little mad at us, but they want to do a family cemetery, and in the rules, it requires a 50-foot easement. He's seeking a variance of 20 feet on the 30-foot leg that enters his property.
Is this just, is this just before you get to Happy Valley? Yes, sir. Okay, it's the old Henry Redden farm. Yes, yeah, okay, I know, and yes, and I'm familiar with this, and that farm's been long in existence back here when I was a mere child. So, Mr. Henry Redden lived there, and we.
And been all this time, it's been.
Yes,
It hadn't
yes.
been cut up or anything?
No, it's, yeah.
If it would help, No, I'm not mad about the deal, and I want to clear something up. We didn't seek additional easement. I didn't want to put my neighbors in a position where they had to say no if they didn't want to. It's kind of uncomfortable, and we're not that way. If it helps, if this goes through, it is then our intention, my wife and I are going to meet with the Tennessee Land Trust folks, and we're going to put a permanent conservation easement on the entire 132 acres. We think Bell Buckle would never allow it to be developed in our lifetimes, we know, and probably not the next lifetime, but I see it 50, 60, 70 years from now, everybody living around it as a park. So that is our intention, and purely our intention. And family cemetery might be a little over speaking. We're planning on just the two of us. And
Not anytime soon.
not anytime soon. Okay. And if we are fortunate enough to outlive them, or they outlive us, we're one of our horses buried back there with us too. But buried with our horses.
Again, I'm very familiar with this.
Yeah, it's a cool piece of property.
It's, like I say, Henry Redden, we leased, when I was a pre-teenager, we leased all that farm in front of you that's been cut up now over the years. So it's in existence and whatever, so it's, it's been that way for at least 75 years.
Mr. Chairman,
4 of my 5 neighbors have reached out personally, and everybody's cool.
where does the 20 additional acreage come from? We got 20 feet or 30 feet, we need 50. Where's it coming?
When we set up our cemetery regulations, we required, we had so many landlocked cemeteries, we required them to give an easement into it. But I think that's the reason for the variances with that.
It's on your property. The
Yes.
property's all
And,
yours.
and
We're
I
just
do
giving
have a
them an extra-
diagram of where it's going for y'all if y'all want to see it.
Again, it's beyond their control if they want to be buried back here, because that's just the way it is.
Can I ask? My question is, this piece of property has not been subdivided or anything else. It
As
goes
far as
all
we
the way
can
back.
tell.
This thing's grandfathered in, people, to begin with. It's a legal residence, it's grandfathered.
It's a legal lot. It's just the verbiage for our family cemetery requires a 50-foot easement, but I see no reason why we can't give it a variance.
Yeah, I think we're just meeting the.
My thoughts are it's grandfathered in, but I'm gonna back it up with the fact that I'm gonna make a motion, we approve it.
All right,
So we do have a
motion
letter
approved.
here.
I'm with him.
I wanna read the letter.
Okay.
And the Colemans were great to work with. You can see this guy's, he's great. So, I, Dale Floyd, property address 799 Liberty Pike, have no objections to the Colemans' request of a variance for a personal cemetery on their property. Dale Floyd.
And I know Dale will too. He'd be very agreeable.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
I will second Mr. Three.
I have a motion,
got a
second to
question.
approve. Sir.
This road, no matter what happens to this property in the future now, it always have a right of way to the public to go into this place.
Yes.
And fenced in, took care of, because
Correct.
this happened in the past. It hadn't been done in the past.
I
Another
can assure you
cemetery.
it will be done and done well here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're similar to the lot. And as far as building more houses, you can build up, if you're a farm, you can build three houses back here if you choose.
But you have to,
I was just informing you. I'm sorry, sir. Okay, somebody has to flag me on this.
But-
I have
but
wait a
Whit-
minute, I have a motion and a second on the floor. Robert's Rules of Order
No,
require.
we're good on the
Yeah,
addition. We're-
How many gray spaces are you assuming that you're plotting off for the future?
It's my understanding the minimum is 1/10 of an acre, so we're gonna do whatever the ordinance says do.
To start out with?
Yes, sir. I hope I'm answering your question correctly. I think 1/10 of an acre was for a family cemetery if another family member wished to be buried there. Am I setting this up for multiple generations? No, we are not. This is for us and our children. I'm not sure what they do, but they also have families, and this is just kind of our dream. And if they want to be buried there, they can.
A motion and a second. All in favor? Pass unanimously.
Thanks, folks.
Now,
but I have to go on the record saying that we do allow on agricultural land, 15 acres or more, up to 3 residences, but the caveat is they all have to be able to be legally split back off. So if they were to move to Kentucky tomorrow and he had 3 houses, he would have to be able to legally sell all 3 houses separate.
I didn't know that caveat was in there. Okay.
And Blake, we're good. We're good.
They say so.
You actually saved me a ton of money.
Mr. Chairman, I remind
Can I
the
bury-
chair
can I
about our
bury my
new
cat up
business that
there?
we were- Our new business that we were discussing.
Ready for new business? Ready for new business?
So that's the end of our list.
We ready for new business? All the old business is taken care of?
That was the old business was just begun. Everything after that was new business.
Okay. All right. I think we have the item that Chris has brought up on length of time. I think we've all got it. Okay. What's y'all thinking?
My thinking is that we need to limit, the question is, the statute says we need to allow for adequate public comment time, and we've limited 3 minutes, I believe, to public comment. And so what, the point being, if there's 75 people out there that want to talk for 3 minutes, and we could be here for 2 or 3 hours. So what the question is, should we put a maximum limit of 15 minutes on the totality of the public comments? And I think that's the question that we have to decide if we want to change our bylaws to do that.
And having been through these a couple of times, I'm not sure 15 minutes, if you get a big enough crowd, is enough to get both sides adequate coverage. I agree with the premise, and we've all, but when you get a lot there, and usually you'll have on both sides, that only gives, if you do 3 minutes, that only gives you basically 3 people to speak on each side, and a lot of times the most articulate ones aren't first. So, that's my thinking is you're going to have to make it to get a feel for what the public to address that. And instead of suffering 15 minutes, you may have to suffer 30, or you may have to suffer an hour. I don't know. Whatever y'all think. And I can tell by Janice, look, she suffered through these too.
I mean, if you wanna make somebody mad, tell them they can't speak when they've come to speak, and they've followed all the rules and everything. And sometimes it just takes longer to do it. It's just that simple. But if you limit them to 3 minutes, if we need 10 people, if we want 20 people, I'm sorry, I think we need to do it.
Well, they only have 3 minutes. We have questions to ask them too. So that takes up time.
Yeah, I think the idea is good, but I think when you get into it and you have a large issue with the public, and a lot of times they know. A lot of times the public perception is, oh, we know it's already set, cut and dried, but a lot of times it isn't. But if they get a chance to get up there and speak, and it's that's just something. I don't disagree with the premise, but I think you got to have a longer time frame, and I think sometimes you may have to extend that if there's. Yeah, you're going to hear the same thing over and over again, but they're getting to have their say, and that's part of having a public hearing.
Well, why don't we think about that and come back at our next meeting, and maybe if somebody has a suggestion there, because we'll have to discuss the bylaw changes and how we go through that. So I think right now we're faced with what are we going to do because we don't know. And so I think Mr. Threet had a good point. You've got a good point, and let's just figure out at the next meeting. By now we've had a chance to marinate over it and think of an option.
And I'm saying, let's assume that we do. I think the 3 minutes is a reasonable time, but if you do that and then you have, but what you can also do I'm Kennan's chaired them, y'all have been. If you see there are more people there, let's say your time allotment is 30 minutes, you can always say, I think we've got more people here who want to speak, and extend it. And you do that by, a motion of the board. If the majority of the board wants to go on, that's always your option if you set a time limit of, and what Kennan's saying, if you set a time limit, there's always an option that it can be extended by motion of whatever the board is. I think that would give you a reasonable. You're right. When you get a lot of folks there, and there are a lot on both sides of the issue, and sometimes they make, you may be way deep into it, and somebody will come up with a point to say, "Oh, I hadn't thought of that before." So,
Excuse me.
I'm good for you. Go ahead.
Many times we have asked, that if you're gonna say the same thing that everybody else has already said, please just pass on to the next person. We don't need to hear the same thing over and over. I've said that many times when we were conducting the meeting. You and I both have had to do that. So I think it's important that we don't just put a limit out there, especially a short one like 15 minutes.
Yep.
There's responsibilities come with this, whether we like them or not.
Make a motion that we think about this for a month, come back next month and decide how we want to word our bylaws in there. I don't think we're prepared now to pull the bylaws out and make a motion. So I would defer for 1 month, and when we come back next month, we'll discuss this and how do we include it into our bylaws. That would be my motion.
Second.
Motion second to defer, and had to come back with staff recommendations on. All in favor?
Aye.
Pass unanimously.
That's everything.
I hate to tell you, but you ain't seen the crowd yet since you.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Several ones we've had years ago.
Move to adjourn.
Motion by Commissioner Vick, second by Mr. Hart. All in favor? Aye. Pass unanimously.